So everybody knows that Lego Star Wars is not going away, not anytime soon. But I've been thinking more and more recently about what Lego without Lego Star Wars looks like. And I think we need to start thinking about what happens when that retires. It'll probably be like 100 years before that happens. Or will it? See, I just think Lego Star Wars needs a break. Whether that means like producing less sets or producing no sets, it's hard to tell. But, I've become a little bit more of a Lego doomer recently. And that's all because really the prices are just getting so bad, so terrible. I mean, if I go here to Kylo Ren's command shuttle, $70 for 300 pieces. And this is like a tiny set. Something that would have cost me like $40 back in the day. 70 is actually absolutely outrageous. I'd never buy anything like this. I mean, we're talking about pieces of plastic with no minifigures and no printed pieces except for this little plate. That kind of stuff makes me a Lego doomer, in my opinion. And there's a lot of sets that are like that these days. But I think it's become a little bit more fundamental about that. R.R. Slugger mentioned something briefly in a space video, and it really stuck out in my mind, which is Lego Star Wars is one of the only, sci-fi themes in the entire Lego lineup. I mean, Technic, maybe there might be something there. Bionicle, of course, was another thing. But yeah, I maybe Jurassic World, if you could call that sci-fi. It's more like ridiculous magic now. But yeah, I mean, it really is the only Lego sci-fi space theme that's of any note. And I think that's a little bit of a shame because the Lego Star Wars line hasn't been very interesting for a long time now. And I'll show you what I mean. We've had multiple versions of pretty much every single spaceship in all of the Star Wars movies, except for the sequels. I'll get into that. We've had sets for basically every single scene in the original trilogy multiple times. There's I don't even know, 40 different X-Wings. How many Star Destroyers are there? Yeah, we've had a lot. We've had a lot of Star Destroyers as well. I mean, even something as obscure and shows up in one scene has gotten at least two versions. We've had two versions of Cloud City. Oh no, there's a third Cloud Car, so there you go. So it's really gotten to the point where I don't even know what can be improved. I think there's gotten to a point where Lego Star Wars has been iterated upon so many times. The same ships and the same scenes. It's like, if we get another X-Wing, how much different is it going to be from the previous one? How much is the Imperial Star Destroyer going to be to the previous one? I think it's the most hilarious part of this is that we've gotten a UCS Slave 1, but it's Jango Fett's version, which is essentially a recolor of a previous UCS Lego Slave 1. I'll grant them that there are a lot of improvements in the sloping area, but I gotta say, when I first saw this, I thought they had literally just recolored the previous UCS version, because they looked so similar, and they still look pretty similar. Don't get me wrong, it's good that they look similar, so it would be consistent, and they're the same ship, they should look similar. It's just funny that we have two UCS Slave 1s now, and the only real difference is the color scheme. Occasionally, I think the battle droid with Stap is pretty unique. We haven't really gotten something like this, but it's just funny. And this is kind of a consequence of the Lego retirement system where they'll create a version of a set, they'll have it sellable in stores and on the website for a year or a few years, and then they retire it, and then it goes onto the secondhand market, which ramps up the price a lot. We've even gotten another version of the Rogue One Rebel U-Wing. I think this is definitely cool because at least we get characters from Andor, and that's another thing. I think Lego Star Wars is kind of suffering because the Star Wars brand is suffering. I mean, when the sequels were coming out, I bet that Lego was really banking on those movies, just bringing in a ton of new ship designs, a ton of new sets. Unfortunately for them, they're some of the worst movies ever made, and no one likes them. So we got like one or two waves from each of the movies, and then it basically stopped. I'm guessing either the sales weren't very good, or maybe they're just embarrassed making Lego sets for those movies, because I would be. What's the most recent Lego Star Wars sequel set? I mean, we got Kylo Ren's helmet, that's really overpriced. We got Kylo Ren's command shuttle, which is really overpriced, and I don't think anyone actually cares about Kylo Ren as a character. It's more that these just look cool. So there's nothing deeper than that. I mean, we got the Mandalorian and Grogu, I guess. That too. But, I mean, seriously, when's the last sequel set? I mean, you can keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and there's not any other sequel set besides the Kylo Ren stuff, which I think speaks a lot, you know? There's plenty of prequel stuff because people still have fond memories of those movies. But yeah, anything recent, those two, and that's basically it. And while they have new shows, I mean, the shows are also pretty terrible besides Andor. And the problem with Andor, besides the Rebel U, I mean, what sets can really be made out of that show? It's a lot of talking. There's some good action scenes. I mean, if I were to guess, the test TIE fighter in season 2, the prison arc in season 1 maybe, but is anyone really gonna buy the Gorman Plaza or like a hallway that K2SO goes down? I mean, I'm guessing no. All we're left with are the other shows, like The Mandalorian and the Ahsoka series, which, unfortunately for them, the Ahsoka series gave us maybe the worst Lego set, the worst, most overpriced Lego set ever made. $55 for 300 pieces for essentially a piece of ground with some weird structures and, you know, minifigures at least. This is like one of the most pathetic Lego sets I've ever seen. It's just gray ground. On top of that, you had maybe the second worst Lego set ever conceived, which is another piece of gray ground from the Obi-Wan show. And I'm only giving this one more credit because I think I like the minifigures a little bit more, but it's really pathetic. But a vast majority of the new Lego sets are still from the original trilogy and the prequels. To be fair, this year's summer sets, the leaks at least they look pretty promising besides buildable Ewok, which just seems like, again, completely unnecessary. We got a Jango Fett playscale version, another Clone Wars set, another Clone Wars set, and another Clone Wars set. I think this one is probably the best simply because we've never gotten an MTT in Separatist colors, and the minifigures look pretty good. The Hot Rod Snowspeeder from Rebuild the Galaxy is, like, funny. It's just, like, ridiculous. And to be fair, these look pretty good. This is definitely new stuff we haven't seen before, but I don't know how long that's really gonna last. Now, I'm sure what LEGO makes sets of is almost certainly determined by a bunch of market analysis, a bunch of studies of, like, what people want to buy, what people are buying. And they probably want more of the same, which is just original trilogy sets and, like, Clone Wars sets. And when they do all this market analysis stuff, they get their ideas and what they should prioritize. But even then, I look at all of this and I'm like, I don't feel the need to buy anything. And maybe that's just me growing up. I don't feel the need for a different colored Millennium Falcon. I don't feel the need for another small Imperial Star Destroyer or another type of TIE fighter or a diorama that is just kind of cool to look at, I guess. And maybe that's just me growing up. This is cool because we haven't gotten anything like this. Some of the dioramas like this, we never really got anything like this. But for every one of those, there's a bunch of, like, a Coruscant Guard gunship. It's like this is a different colored version of a whole line of gunships. So for as long as Lego Star Wars is huge, I think its days might actually be numbered in some sense. Probably not within the next few years, but I don't know, like 2 decades from now, what will Lego Star Wars actually look like? I think Lego adults are going to start growing up, and the kids that want toys now, I mean, they're not going to want Lego sequel sets. They might want some original trilogy sets, but I don't think it'll be a big enough number to justify still making them. When I look at other themes, like Minecraft, for example, it just seems a lot healthier into me in terms of like the range of types of sets and the different pieces, the new colors, the new minifigures, all this new stuff. It just screams more new, more interesting to me. I think I'd rather buy a Minecraft set at this point than a Lego Star Wars set. You know, you have all these interesting new pieces, and it's the blocky aesthetic that really fits. You know, the creeper's iconic still. This looks cool. This looks cool. I mean, the gas looks cool. And even Lego Harry Potter, I think, interests me more. You know, you got all these crazy, wacky buildings with so many colors and stuff. And I mean, they're consistently, from a brief overview, I mean, this looks way better. And from a pricing point, I mean, these look slightly better, like a slightly better deal. I mean, Lego Fortnite, talk about screaming with creativity. I mean, this is the craziest thing ever. Like half a banana skeleton. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Lego Fortnite looks way cooler than, you know, another gray ship that we've gotten 100 versions of already. Like, do I want another piece of rock with 4 minifigures? Does a kid want a piece of rock with 4 minifigures, or do they want like something crazy looking, or something like this with all this crazy stuff? And Lego Lord of the Rings is another comparable thing. Lego Lord of the Rings has gotten really expensive, unfortunately, but I feel like they're missing something here, because if they made more play scale Lord of the Rings set, I feel like those would be very popular. And even Hobbit sets, like, I guess they didn't perform that well, and that's why they don't make many of them. I'm not spending much on Lego anymore, of course, but it just seems like Lego Star Wars just wouldn't appeal to me as a kid anymore. Lego Ideas also. I mean, some of this stuff is crazy. I mean, this stuff, I mean, it is more expensive, of course. Since the movies aren't going well, then I don't think the sets are going to go well. And as long as the sets are just kind of repetitive or, like, uninteresting, like a Darth Maul mech, that's the kind of thing I just kind of laugh at. I guess people want this, but this is, like, the tackiest thing I've ever seen. A Lego Star Wars logo for $60. I'm an adult. This doesn't appeal to me, and adults in Lego contribute to the market significantly now. The summer sets, they do look promising, and that's the kind of thing where I'm like, okay, there's some life in this, but I wonder, like, how many more times could this kind of creativity come out, you know? And these are all Clone Wars stuff, and the Clone Wars, you know, it's gonna age soon. I don't know, you know, how many kids are actually watching Clone Wars. How many adults actually care about Clone Wars anymore? I guess enough for this to be justified. But I think, I mean, it might be beneficial, in my opinion, if Lego took some sort of break from Star Wars. Because as long as lifeblood isn't being put into the Star Wars brand, you know, I don't really know where else they go with this. Where does Lego go next? Where does Lego Star Wars go next, really? As soon as the Mandalorian movie comes out, they might get some sets, but I'm kind of skeptical about how that movie will actually perform. And it's sad to say, you know, because I grew up with Lego Star Wars. I mean, Lego Star Wars is what got me into Lego. And now it seems that it's probably not going to end or even decline within the next few years, but like, in 2 decades from now, will Lego Star Wars be a thing? I'm starting to get skeptical of that fact. I don't think the brand has been handled well by Disney, so what reason is there for Lego Star Wars to keep going as it is? Unless they start being way more inventive with the sets, which I think the summer sets kind of go in that direction, then Lego Star Wars days might be numbered. I wouldn't be surprised if there has been a decline in sales of the overall sets in recent years, especially with how expensive these things are getting and how the economy isn't doing very well and how people are saving money more and more these days. I think my ultimate point is just how, other Lego themes based on IPs can be retired and then brought back. I think Lego Star Wars might be heading towards the direction of not being a continuous theme that we have every single year. I think there might be a time in the not so distant future where they just retire it for a few years or bring it back. I don't know. That's my thoughts for this. This is the Lego Doomer vlog. Not really Doomer. I think it might be beneficial actually for Lego to start thinking about different sci-fi franchises that might come out. I mean, Dune. With Dune Messiah, I think it might be a good idea to actually start making more sets in the Dune franchise. I mean, the Ornithopter was great.